What's up, YouTube? So I'm coming at you, just leaving the movies. Went and checked out Alien Covenant, which is the sequel to Prometheus, which is a prequel to Alien, the first Alien movie, if you didn't know. I'm a pretty big fan, just in general, let you know, I'm a big fan of the Alien, you know, what was the Alien trilogy, then the quadrilogy, then the, I don't even know what it is now. There's at least, let's see, there's 4 of them in the original main series, and then there were the Aliens vs. Predator movies, and then there was Prometheus, and then there was Alien Covenant. So, just, I'm going to hit the basics real quick, I guess. One was that it was better than Prometheus, I think. Kind of, in a way. Different, but good. It's good like Prometheus. If you like Prometheus, you're going to like this. Most people probably didn't like Prometheus, is what I'm going to guess. A lot of people were kind of let down by it because of the lack of classic alienism to it. But Prometheus wasn't really an alien movie so much as it just was a science fiction movie that took place in that universe. And they kind of experimented with themes. The main theme that I'm seeing out of these 2 new ones, Prometheus and Alien Covenant, is that it's a total return to, you know, the sci-fi aspect of it, which is cool. I definitely like that because, you know, Aliens, which is probably known as the best one, the second Alien movie, Aliens, plural, is probably well known as, like, the best one. You know, like, most people in my generation around my age range, we watched it when we were, like, 10 years old or something. Thought it was, like, greatest movie ever, you know. And when, like, we watch Alien versus Alien when you're 10 or 12, it's all about the commandos and Marines and shooting them up and a bunch of aliens and all that stuff. So, the Aliens, if you want action-packed movie and you just want ass-kicking, great movie, one of the best movies of all time, you can go for Aliens. If you want pure science fiction, Alien, the first one, is, you know, absolutely excellent movie. I can't imagine how good it was when it came out because of how good it still stands up today. But most of my generation, you know, when we were kids, we were like, well, the first one only has 1 alien, and it's a little slower. Well, that's because you're kids, you know. But it does have wonderful sci-fi themes, and it's kind of a make-you-think movie, more so than the other ones. Alien 3 was a good movie, but it wasn't great. It was a letdown. I guess you could probably say, it was pretty safe to say it was a letdown. It was good. I'd give Alien 3 like a 5 out of 10, a 6 out of 10, kind of floating in that range. Whereas I know I'm kind of breaking into all of them, but I think you gotta kind of talk about all of them. So Alien 4, which was called, if I can remember, Alien Resurrection, I think it was what it was called, is that's the worst one out of all of them. It's not even it's a bad movie. It's not that great. It was like, oh, well, we're back to Aliens, plural. There's more aliens in it, yeah, but they were terrible CGI aliens from the 90s, and it didn't have a good script. B.A. Thompsonator, gotta throw this out there, because I did watch B.A. Thompsonator talk about this. He did a whole video podcast about it. He was playing the video game, which I still haven't got around to playing, which looks absolutely sweet, awesome. Alien Isolation, which is like a PS3, Xbox 360 game, which is a first-person, not shooter, I guess you could say. It looks like it's a first-person shooter, but you don't really shoot as much as you puzzle solve, and it looks like it's a scientific horror thing. Anyway, B.A. Thompsonator covers Alien Resurrection, if that's what it's called, really well. If you want to know more about that and its script problems and Joss Whedon's involvement with it, because he was involved with it, very weird. The whole movie was kind of a debacle. That one's like a 4 out of 10. Worthy only of ever watching, probably because it's got Sigourney Weaver in it and it's an alien movie. Alright, so first Alien movie has got to be an 8.5, 9 out of 10. Second one, same thing, maybe even better. Maybe you get to I don't know, the second one is generally known as the best one of all of them. Wonderful, wonderful. Can't say enough about that movie, or the first one, really. So then you get these Aliens vs. Predator, the movie that I salivated over, wanted to watch so badly ever since I could remember, you know what I mean? Because ever since I was 10 and watched Aliens or whatnot, I was dying because Predator, you know, everybody loves Predator. The first original Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator, it's like you can't, that's on par with Aliens, I'd say. Those two movies came out in like within a couple years, and just amazing movies. So there was like talk after the comic books came out and the licensing, there was talk for like 10 years about the Aliens vs. Predator movie. And then when it finally comes out, it's not garbage, but it's not good. It's in Alien 3 territory. There's too much about it. It might be even more, not as good as Alien 3. It was kind of, that one was a major letdown. I didn't even bother going to see Alien vs. Predator 2 Requiem or whatever. I just waited for that one on DVD, and I waited like 2 years. I mean, it was, and that movie's not very good either. There's some cool stuff in them, and they've got some gadgets and actiony stuff, but for the most part, the movies, if you want to know about alien movies, watch Alien, watch Aliens, the second one, and then just skip right to Prometheus. And then into this new Alien Covenant movie. That's basically probably the best. Those, not even probably. And I wouldn't tell you to skip, but you've probably already seen. Half these people have already seen these movies anyways. So let me finally get to the review. Sorry it took so long, but I kind of had to preface that with, I guess, what I know about them. So let me hit Prometheus real quick, talk about Prometheus, because I'm going to talk about the other ones. Okay, so Prometheus is kind of the prequel set before Alien ever took place, and it's a good movie unto itself. Very confusing, very mysterious, very Prometheus-y, and I'm borrowing that word from, what's her name? Comic Book Girl 19. And my cheeks look pretty flushed. I got this hat on. It's pretty cold in Michigan right now. Anyways, it's pretty Prometheus-y movie, Prometheus. And if you want to watch a great breakdown on that, check out Comic Book Girl 19. She's done the best breakdown of Prometheus. She calls it very Prometheus-y. So that's a good movie. I'm going to throw out a 6.5 to 7 out of 10 on Prometheus, where it was like, oh, that was cool. I was glad, I liked it. But it wasn't like, oh man, that was amazing. And it's basically the same thing with this one. I think I'm going to give this one a 7.5, a 7 to a 7. 7. I'll give this one a 7 and Prometheus a 6.5. We'll call it even at that. It was a shade better. There was some cooler stuff in it. Some plot twists that were paid off a little bit more. Maybe I give Prometheus a 6 and this one a 7. It's definitely a whole point better, probably, now I'm thinking about it. So, but it's not above a 7, though. So it must mean Prometheus is a 6. We're just shooting numbers. But this new one. Okay, let me get into the meat and potatoes of this new one. And I should put it in the description, you know, fast forward to 8 minutes. It takes me 8 minutes to get to the actual review. So hang on with me, because this is how I do these videos. I just drive and then talk. So let me get to the actual review. Almost 9 minutes in. Okay, so this movie is called Alien Covenant. It takes place right after, and this is a non-spoiler review. I will not spoil the movie for you. I should have said that right out the gate. I will never do that unless I put spoiler alert, spoiler review, huge in it. So I hope this doesn't mess it up. You've probably already seen it anyways. It's been out for a couple weeks if you are an Alien fan. And if not, and you're just looking for a good movie, or you're just watching my video, then you know, maybe this will bump you up to go see it. I would definitely watch Prometheus first. Don't watch this one without watching Prometheus. It could be stand alone, you know. You could go in and watch it and not have watched Prometheus, but I think it, you know, absolutely adds to it. So do that if you're gonna watch it. So Alien Covenant, basically, I'm just gonna give you the short, kind of what I like and what I don't. I don't want to reveal any plot points. You can go find all that crap online. I just tell you what I like and what I don't like about it. What I do like about it is that it kind of had the return and the feel of the very first Alien movie. Good. Had a dude named Tennessee in it. Bad. that when they do that, because the first Alien had a character named Dallas, okay? Why you? I mean, and Danny McBride was Tennessee, and he was great in the movie. I thought he was really good. When I saw Danny McBride on the credits, I was like, what? He's in this movie? But he was really good. He adds a lot of. He's Danny McBride, so he's gonna bring to the table a lot of heart and soul. Not so much comedy, but just a good old boy type of attitude. So Danny McBride was very good in the movie. But they called him Tennessee. I kind of had a problem with that. Do you have to, when you're watching a movie like that, it's cool that it kind of feels like the first Alien movie, but you don't have to, just because the first one had a dude named Dallas, you don't have to name this guy Tennessee. That brings me out of the movie. I hate when movies do stuff like that. That's the problem I had with Rogue One, and I'm not going to get into that a whole lot, but some of the problems I had with Rogue One were the fact that they were trying to add in those feels, and I just think they overdid it in certain spots. I'm not going to get into that, but they did capture, in a roundabout way, the Star Wars feel wonderful, right? But then they did stuff that was just overbearing, and it took me out of the movie. I'm like, come on, man. So, okay, so calling him Tennessee, I get it. It was a throwback to the original one, but it's not being original, though, and it's cashing in, I think, on that. I don't know. I don't see it that way because it just annoys me, but I think that they see it that way, or the general public may see it that way, like, oh, it's cool. Dallas was the first one. This one's Tennessee. Well, I don't know. I just didn't dig that part of it. Secondly, the chain room. Do you have to make stuff so similar? You know the iconic scene in the first Alien where the chains are swinging around, the guy's just in there looking like, well, what am I looking for? And then, what happens after that? There's a scene in there, in the beginning where there's like, it's very reminiscent of that. And so you're just painting a picture where you're kind of retreading some things. But that's about... there's a couple of other little cheap, gimmicky things in there. And even Prometheus had that to a slight extent. Nothing that was as bad as Tennessee. When I heard Tennessee, I was like, come on, guys. Really? You couldn't think of just any other name. Tennessee, you're doing that because of Dallas. Texas, I heard that in Texas. I heard it in Tennessee. Is that a saying in Texas? Is that a saying in Tennessee? I don't know. Dallas? Bigger than Dallas? Bigger? More volunteer than Tennessee? Tennessee Dallas. I don't know. It's one of those things that kind of bugged me. It took me out of the movie because it's like, come on, you're doing that for brownie points or whatever it seemed like. Alright, so that was one of my main criticisms of it, really. There were some other things that were like, I'd have to watch it again to be real specific on why exactly certain things bothered me. But for the most part, very good movie. There was parts of this movie where I was, absolutely on the edge of my seat, like, holy crap. I wouldn't say scary because I really don't get scared at that kind of stuff, but like nail biter stuff, like stuff is going down and it's disgusting. I mean, there is like gross factor in the gore. There is some gory gross factor stuff in there. Not terrible, not even as bad as Prometheus. Prometheus has more gore in my opinion. There's a certain scene in the med pod, which I'm not going to get into, that was really like, oh my god, am I even watching this? So, that was Prometheus. This movie was gory, but not as gory, I'd say. There's still some pretty vicious parts in it. It's pretty wild movie. And, without spoiling anything further, or maybe that's, these other guys, they do okay, now it's time for the spoilers part. So I'll try to run with that. So, spoilers at the 14-minute mark. We'll say that. And I'm only going to go a couple more minutes. So spoilers at the 14-minute mark. And I'm not going to spoil even. It's just minor spoiling things. Now that I've kind of talked about the retreading continues beyond that into other parts of the end of the movie, which to me it's kind of getting that cheap effect again. Whereas Prometheus was, people talk down on it because it's not alien enough. This one was like overly alien to the point where I'm wondering if the corporation is in there making some of these decisions. Like, okay, we got to have a scene like this. Okay, we gotta have a scene like that. We gotta have a scene like this, because that's what was in the first one that Ridley Scott did. See, if you don't know, which most everybody does, Aliens, the second Alien movie, was done by James Cameron, who at that point was like a real up-and-coming hot director at that part of the 80s. He'd just come off of Terminator and maybe just Terminator at that point. The first Terminator, and that's it. Maybe. He might have done something else. I might have my timeline skewed, because I think The Abyss came after... I'm pretty sure The Abyss came after Aliens. Which, Abyss, I need to watch that movie. I haven't seen that movie in years. That movie's so good. So, anyway, wrapping up with the spoil, that's all I really want to say. There's nothing to really spoil other than retreading of similar themes that you've seen before. So, that's kind of the stuff that I didn't like about it. I guess that's what I'm saying. I miss the originality of Prometheus, actually. Because Prometheus, even though it's not the greatest movie, it is very original. So, and they do kind of keep the God theme going. So that's about all I want to say about it. And I don't think I have anything else. So, thanks for watching. I'm at Review the Earth on Twitter. Get at me. Tell me what you think of Prometheus. Or any of the Alien movies. I love talking aliens. So, alright, we'll see you guys.